So Kate, it's really nice to meet you and to be here on this beautiful campus in New Albany. We'll talk a little bit more about the campus in a minute. Maybe you could start by kind of describing your journey with project-based learning. It sounds like it started in the classroom and has taken you some new directions.
Yeah, I actually, I would say project-based learning is was the missing framework I needed for the work that I was doing. I started out in special education and everything felt so disjointed because kids were coming in and out and there wasn't anything that pulled everything together. So when I moved into a third grade classroom, I was really looking for what is something that will make this make sense. I taught everything in segments and nothing flowed throughout the day. So actually over winter break, I went home and we were getting ready to study animals, and I'll never forget this winter break because I just really dove in and spent a ton of time thinking about how can I do this different than what I've been doing. And I worked really hard at integrating the curriculum from reading to writing to math, the science and social studies, all centering that on animals. And after that, my principal came to me and said, I would like you to attend this PBL 101 workshop, and the rest is history. But that gave me the framework for how to get better at what I was trying to do.
And it's really
the
interesting.
pieces, it was there were holes missing, and I didn't know it until I attended the PBL 101 workshop, and then started using all of Buck Institute's planning guides and all of the resources that were there. That really helped. And when I moved into the technology coaching job, then I really started thinking about how does technology fit with project-based learning.
Sure.
And so in that role, I was serving grades K through 5, and I really would say that all of my technology work was grounded in PBL. So when I worked with teachers, it was always well, let's do this from the lens of project-based learning, and let's look at this as a bigger scope and sequence than just putting technology in the hands of students.
So smart.
It made a lot of sense, and it allowed me to do much more meaningful work with teachers and students than just to fly into their classroom to give them a lesson on how to use an app.
Tool of the day.
Yes,
kind of thing.
so that really gave me the lens for having a bigger impact.
That's fantastic in that context.
Yes.
For that purposefulness of whether it's using tools or the instructional design you were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would say that project-based learning really gives me the framework for teaching and instruction where everything makes sense and students know what they're learning and why they're learning it. It's easy for them to explain what they're coming back to school the next day to accomplish. And I think those were things that were missing before I had that tool.
That's really interesting. How long have you been teaching in campus?
Next year will be my 13th year.
13th year, okay. So it's interesting. You were kind of looking for something you didn't know quite what. And
it was very odd, and I actually have attended the 101 workshop twice, and I was in different roles at different times. So that was really interesting, being a classroom teacher and going to it and looking at it through that lens, and then being in a coaching position and looking at how can I get other teachers to really buy in and embrace this and try it. So that was neat.
Yeah.